Apple supplier Hon Hai continues to grapple with labor issues, with more reports surfacing about a workers' strike. Welcome to Asia Today. I'm Yoon-hee Kim. Joining me now by Skype is Paul Mosier, reporter in Beijing. Paul, thanks for joining us. You've been following this story very closely. There are now new reports about a strike going on at some of these factories. Can you tell us the latest?
Yeah, so from what we know at the end of last week, basically on Thursday night, according to reports from two different labor organizations, workers at a supplier for Foxconn, not actually Foxconn-owned factory, walked out over the night shift, and then they were joined by more laborers during the next day on Friday, and they sort of blocked a major artery in the city of Fengcheng, which is in Jiangxi, which is eastern China. And then at that point, the local government called in a large number of police, and there were videos and photographs that we couldn't independently verify, but that showed that there was a large police presence. And then later on that afternoon, the local city government posted a photo of the mayor of the city visiting the plant, showing that everything was back to normal. And then we have later sort of confirmation from Foxconn that this is a supplier of theirs and that there was an incident that occurred, but no elaboration. So details remain sketchy, but generally speaking, there seems to have been a protest about wages and poor conditions at the factory.
Do we have any details on what the factory manufactures? There's been a lot of worker unrest at some of these factories, raising concerns that whether Hon Hai might be able to assemble these products on time.
Yeah, I mean, with this factory, it's pretty broad. Generally speaking, it's sort of components for computers, cell phones, servers, printers, and other communications equipment. This was a fairly brief shutdown from everything we know right now. Basically, they maybe missed a shift and a half. So it doesn't look like this would necessarily cause a real problem in Hon Hai's overall production process. That said, it is indicative of a broader problem, as we've seen more and more strikes across the value chain, not just in Hon Hai, but in suppliers below them, and in even other sort of manufacturers that are on the same level as Hon Hai. So there are these issues going on, and there are great concerns about wages and greater willingness of workers to kind of stand up. And so we are seeing that, and that could continue to present a problem going forward.
Right, and has there been any response from Hon Hai, Paul? I mean, will they have to resort to raising wages again? This has been an issue for quite some time.
Yeah, so I mean, what we know is obviously Hon Hai is going to continue to raise wages as part of its opening itself up to these FLA audits, beginning of last year, and we know that it's going to do this. But the question is really these whole other garden variety of companies that are beyond Hon Hai's control, its component suppliers and other producers like it. There's a lot of workers who are getting ready to go home right now for the Chinese New Year, and the question remains for them: do they go back to the factory that they've been at, or do they go somewhere else and try their fortunes there? And a lot of factories, as that date approaches, might be facing similar problems where their workers just push for better conditions so that they will come back next year and continue to work there.
Okay, thanks very much, Paul. Certainly a story that we'll be following very closely. For more on that story, go to WSJ.com. I'm Yoon-hee Kim for the Wall Street Journal Digital Network.